Morning, everyone.
Alright guys, well, I didn't have any cardboard, so I took some of this rosin paper and used some spray adhesive. Kind of made it two-sided, so kind of started on a template here. I'm going to cut it out and see what it looks like. See how it works.
Started on these last night. Got this piece of tape here just to kind of show you what we did. So that's where our bend's going to be. Pretty easy to figure out. I mean, whenever you have something complex angle like this, if you just make your line from point to point, you should be able to do it. Now, if I went from this point to this point, it would totally change the whole shape of it. It would be a lot harder to do, actually. So this seems to be the easiest way for me. So we're going to continue on. Alright, so here's our pattern kind of laid out, probably what I'm going to do with my bead roller, and then we'll break it, but I hope it fits. I'm going to try and make it a little big so I can shave it down if I have to. Alright, now that we got everything cut out there, I think I'm going to take my template back over to the buggy. I might cut it down that fold line. Alright, fold's definitely going to be good, so I'm just going to fold this in half to mark it. Take it over there and make our way through here. So basically,
should be clean.
alright, so basically it would lay out like this. So now we gotta figure out how we're gonna lay out our bead rolling, and we do not have a lot of room to do really anything in here. So let me think about this for a second, and we'll get back. Alright, well, there you have it. Got a little, it's really hard where you start and stop, but it's not bad. So I gotta figure out what side this is and then stick it in my brake over here, and this one should fit in there. Whew. Yep, barely, but it'll fit. Alright, let's give this a shot, and hopefully this works. Cool. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you're doing your bead rolling. If you're gonna brake afterwards, you gotta make sure you have enough room, depending on your brake, for your fingers or whatever to get down in there. So. Do it. Cool. Alright, let's go see if it fits. So get rid of this tape now. shrink or stretch her a couple times, but get it form. Looks pretty good though. Cool. Alright, so we got it sitting there. It's all fitted nicely. I'm just kind of show you guys what I got going on here. So I drew that white line on there because I didn't want to follow this edge particularly because it would have made it too far over. So I made that line there to follow that. Makes it real easy actually. It's a real good thing to do. So what I've done here to my Eastwood bead roller is taking a dirt bike gear and machined this plate, and it fit right in there, and I just tack welded it in a few spots. I made this gear just drilling some holes in a plate and grinding it. Seems to work pretty good. It's a little oval, but it's working fine. So it's just a drill. Made a little bracket here. You can see that. Just hose clamp to it. Some things here to hold that. This is actually an old engine stand, but I don't really trust this thing for putting an engine on. Maybe a transmission, but we recycled it. So I've got a little screw holding the cable that wraps around the trigger. And then just sticking through that hose clamp there. Going down to this aluminum foot pedal. It works pretty good. So I made this attachment here, and I put this jack on there. Made these rollers here, and that's for just bending pipe like square tube and other stuff, rolling it. Works pretty good. I actually made some arches for some gates with it. That's why I built it and made some arches, and I've done some handles and other stuff that are arched using that. So works pretty good. Alright, well, I don't think I'm going to do the clamp thing because I want them to sit pretty flush. So I went ahead and I just cut up a bunch of these little tabs, and I'm going to have to grind my fresh paint off because, of course, I jumped the gun on everything. So this is what it is. So I'll grind some of the paint off, weld these on in a few spots, and then I'll drill them and we'll rivet them on. And I was thinking about those holes I drilled in the roof also. Maybe, we don't deal with a lot of rain when we go riding, but I don't want moisture getting inside my frame rails, so I think I'm gonna weld those holes back up and weld some tabs on for the roof also. Might not do that today, but I will do that in the future. So that's what we got right now. Alright, so we got those welded on, and all we gotta do is crappiest drill bit in the world. Alright, we're gonna try that again.
little cool tool, a new bit. So let's see how this works. Alright, so we got one mounted. Hopefully they don't rattle too much. I'm sure they will. I'm sure everything's gonna rattle. I'll have to go through it and either put some seam sealer or something in there to keep it from rattling, some foam or something. But for now, let's get this side done. Alright, I hurt a little bit. So, we got a couple blisters today. That means we're working hard. I'm gonna put a glove on. I'm sure you guys noticed that I didn't put any spray paint on those brackets. These panels are gonna eventually probably get painted gloss black or some color. So they're coming off soon. This is just to get it all mocked up for me. It's real easy to drill out some rivets. I also don't want to get any overspray on this car. I'm being very careful with my sanding and stuff not to shoot sparks at it. So, yeah. So that's that. Working in confined places. Very fun. Alright, so we got this side done. Fitting pretty nice. I don't know if I'm going to make a little pocket and weld over that, seal that in, or just leave it be, but no, it's fine. Wish I would have known and I would have moved that brake over just a hair, but too late for that now, so that works. I wasn't planning on doing a crease in here. I was actually planning on doing like a ballooned look and doing a lot more work to the panel, but I don't have time for that, so this will work.
I think the next panel I'm going to work on is...
Alright, I'm going to go underneath that and mark it. So I wanted to do some more design here, but when I ran it through here, say I wanted to come back on this angle right here, well, I'd have to make this turn and I'd hit. We'd never make the turn. So just gonna have to do it like this, and then that'll be it. Simple. Died. So that's as close as I can get you guys right now when it's charging. I got this fitted, I got it marked. Well, I'm going to grind it, weld my tabs, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. See if we can get this hood mounted today. So definitely gonna have to put another one right there, probably in the middle. Turned out all right. keep the dirt off. So we still gotta do all the rubber stuff. We got a lot more to do, but we're getting a good head start here and just pick off a panel at a time. Eventually it'll be done. All right, well that's it. It's noon o'clock here on a Sunday, so that's enough for me today. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day with my kids. Maybe we'll go for a little ride. I think I'm gonna take this thing around the block real quick and see how bad it rattles. I know it's gonna rattle. We'll see how bad it is. Off-road, it's gonna be way worse. So we're gonna have to probably end up, when we paint these things, we'll put some two-sided tape down. Try and do as much anti-rattle as we can. I still like to make it open up so I can access my brake stuff and everything in there, but we'll do that another day. Right now, this is good enough. We don't have a lot of time to spend out. Like I said, it's probably gonna take 2 more weekends to finish all the panels. We don't have a lot of time, and I like saving time for my kids, so family first, guys. Remember that. Toys come second, and this thing will still go out to the desert just fine like it is and do what it needs to do, so that's how we're doing it. So I hope everybody enjoyed. I'm gonna take it around the block and see how it does. Rattles at a certain RPM. There's ducks over here. What the heck? What are you doing, ducks? Down the road. So that's it for the day. Hope everybody enjoyed. We'll see you next weekend. Well, probably before then, working on the Chevelle. Should have the motor going back in this week, so get that thing out of my way. That'd be nice. And then we'll get back to this next weekend. See you guys then.